Don't run away from life. Control it. Dr. Joy can help.
Indeed. 855-99 Dr. Joy. Deborah, you're on the air. I'm Dr. Joy Browne. How am I to help you?
Good morning, Dr. Joy. Thank you for taking my call.
Sure.
We are in an enormous internal conflict between not only our family, but many friends and so forth, because there are those in our family that have been doing some research into what most people would refer to as conspiracy theories. And they have actually found out and have been trying to urge everyone that they're in contact with that there is overhead geoengineering spraying globally over everybody that's poisoning our planet, for one. And they're also talking about the new NASA war document that they found on the NASA website that talks about actually attacking the continental United States. And I can only tell you, I've seen this. And the emotional...
Seen what?
The NASA war document.
Explain to me, NASA being National Aeronautic and Space Administration.
Well, yes, and it is.
Okay.
I found it it's on the NASA website, but it's also on stopthecrime.net, stopthecrime.net under source documents. And essentially, Dr. Browne, it says, and this was a PowerPoint delivered by the NASA, I'm trying to find his name, Dennis Bushnell, and it was a PowerPoint delivered in 2001. And it's about 114 pages. And it's entitled Warfare Strategy, Future of War. And the underlining premise of it is that it's about robots, cyborgs, and humans. And it says on page 66, increasingly critical are human limitations and human downsides. Humans are too large, humans are too heavy, too tender, too slow physically and mentally, and require huge logistics. Humans have rapidly decreasing to negative value. And on the very next page, 67, it talks about the creation of robotics in the large, that they're more affordable, they are less of a impact on the environment. On page 93, it says the unthinkable. It says exploit CNN syndrome, sink carriers via swarm attacks, capture, torture Americans in living color on prime time. It says terror attacks within the continental United States using binary, biologicals, critical infrastructure takedown, use of
Deborah, where are we going on this?
Well, it has created such an emotional stress within the family that it is hard to manage this level of confirmed information. And so where we're going with this is, what do you do when you've got this information and it is so polarizing and such a headful?
Which side of the divide are you on?
Well, after I was told about it, I looked at it. It's all real. And so
it's on the internet, which doesn't necessarily mean it's real. It just means on the internet.
No, it's been completely vetted.
By whom?
It's been completely vetted, and it's on the NASA website. And then it was put on stopthecrime.net with attachments of defining some of the PowerPoint acronyms.
Well, what's taken 12 years for it to either come to light or be enacted, I guess would be my question.
Well, I'll tell you. It talks about the use of CNN syndrome, PSYWAR, in the large. And when you research the use of the media on many levels, it is disinformation and propaganda. Of course, but wait a minute,
Deborah. I guess I guess 3 points. Number one is that dissemination of information is always viewed as long as the idea that news is objective, I think, is one of those theories that I'm not sure was ever true, number one, but number two, I think would certainly, for the last at least 20 or 30 years, most people don't think news is objective, which by definition means dissemination of information with a slant is the definition of propaganda. So I'm not sure that would be viewed as very controversial or sort of stop the presses. That I think most people understand that news has a bent, which by definition means it's propaganda, number one. Number two, I mean, the idea that any think tank is always talking about possibilities. And I mean, whether you're talking about Bell Labs, you're talking about IBM, you're talking about McKinsey, you're talking about NASA, you're talking about, I mean, anybody who works for a think tank is sort of thinking about, think outside the box. What are the possibilities? I guess my question to you is, what's your question to me? Let me put you on hold. We'll come back in a moment. 855-99 Dr. Joy. I'm Dr. Joy Browne.
Well, Flo?
Uh-huh.
When you have problems, Dr. Joy has solutions.
Yeah, well, at least we try to. So, Deborah, what specifically is your question to me about all this?
Well, I guess to try to boil it down into a specific question, it would be, how do you deal with the sense of absolute, complete betrayal by reality, and the illusion that we as Americans have all been placed under when you've
Wait, Deborah, you have to remember, this isn't Philosophy 101. I'm a psychologist. And
okay.
if you're talking to me about how do we deal with different people who hold strong, intense, emotional beliefs in conflicting theories, I think what you do is agree not to talk about it over Thanksgiving dinner because everybody will get a stomach ache. But in terms of who's I've told the story before, being thrown out of a class in graduate school when someone said, "Who's reality?" So I think that's the issue. 855-99 Dr. Joy. I'm Dr. Joy Browne.